Hello, beadlings. Welcome back. Today is a momentous occasion because we hit 100K subs on the channel. That's bonkers. I am kind of beside myself. I am recording this the morning that I saw it. Basically, this is very fresh news to me, and it is surreal. So, whether this is your first time watching one of my videos or you've been here since the beginning, thank you so much for being here. It's wild that I get to do this and I get to basically be a working artist and help teach other candy kids and sometimes crochet artists and sometimes just whoever how to make different things. That's so neat. I love that that's a thing. I also want to say an extra special, huge, amazing thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. If you like what I do here, you want to support the channel, you can go check it out. I post all of my videos there a little bit earlier so that people see them first. And I also sometimes will post little behind the scenes things, candy patterns that I make, crochet tutorials. There's just sort of a bunch of stuff over there. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can go ahead and check it out. Link is down below. I also have a couple other links down there. I have an Etsy store and I have some other social media platforms where I talk about other stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, go check it out. And I also now have a second YouTube channel that is basically just for rambles. I have one conversation posted there between me and my spouse that is like an hour and a half of just talking about trinkets and overconsumption and the philosophy and psychology of how trinkets and candy are going in the rave scene in America right now. I'm a yapper, they're a yapper. We love co-yapping, and if you want to go listen to us yap, I will occasionally post those over there. It is called Mood Kandi because I think I'm funny. And final order of business, this is a more advanced candy tutorial and also a little bit more of a rough draft as a project than I normally post here, but so many people asked for it, and it is 100K, so here we go, and please be patient with me and check out my other tutorials if you get confused. Okay, now, I'm sure you are looking at the title of this video, you are looking at the thing on screen, and you are going, show me how to make the candy guillotine. I absolutely will. However, I'm a little bit afraid of the YouTube AI censor bots, and it would be a very tragic thing for me if I got 100K on YouTube and then immediately got my channel deleted for making weapons or something. So we're going to refer to this as a French melon slicer. And I'm going to show you how to make a French melon slicer out of pony beads. Please note, this is not a real weapon. You cannot slice anyone's melon with it. It is just decorative. It is just for show. YouTube, please do not come for me. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can see it in all its glory. There we go. I wanted to try and make another prototype where this thing actually moves and this thing actually opens and closes, but I have not had the time. So instead, I am just going to show you how to make this candy French melon slicer. And if you want to innovate on this design, I encourage you to do so. The actual things you will need to know in order to do this, basically peyote stitch and multistitch. And if you want to go watch my shape cuff tutorial and learn how to make a square cuff before you embark on this one, you absolutely can do that. I'm gonna do my best to show as much of this as I can. Making this one took me, I want to say between 6 and 8 hours, and I don't know if I can film 6 to 8 hours worth of content and edit it down into something that is watchable. So I'm going to do my best, but if you are confused at any point on making this rectangle part, highly, highly, highly encourage you to go watch the shape cuff tutorial, make a square cuff, and then come back because it is a little tricky. Supplies. Okay, so this project takes around 600 pony beads, a little bit less, and I'm going to do a couple different colors so that it's easier to follow along. That is why the corners and this center are a different color. I'm going to do these also in a different color so that you can follow what I'm doing, but when you make yours, you can do whatever colors you want. This line doesn't have to be here. These corners don't have to be a different color. I am simply doing it that way so that it is easier to teach you. That said, I do recommend at least 2 different colors of pony beads. You have a silver or something for the slicer part. You even could do, if you wanted to get really fancy, you could do red here and then the rest silver. Anyway, I leave this up to you. But first thing I'm going to teach you is how to make the rectangle. And for that, we are going to use mostly this color of bead, but also these two. You also are going to need an absolute butt ton of cloth covered stretch cord. This is 1.2 millimeters. This is my favorite to use. You can use 1 millimeter stretch cord. It is going to be a little bit floppier if you do use a thinner string. And I do not recommend using the clear stretch cord for this because it tends to snap. However, if you want to use fishing line, it would be totally fine to use fishing line for this project, just a little trickier. When I use fishing line for big projects like this, I have to put like a band-aid on my fingers or else the fishing line will like cut into my soft human flesh. So that's that. Also, candy needle. This is a plastic yarn needle, some sort of needle. Very, very helpful for this project. And scissors. Beads are from Bead Tin. String is, I think, also from Bead Tin, but you can get it on Amazon as well. And you can get these anywhere that yarn is sold. This is a, I think, 2.75 inch needle. First thing you're going to do is cut off a really, really long piece of string. I do like 2 or 3 wingspans worth, and yes, it is annoying to work with, but it is nice to not have to add string in the middle of the project. So I'm going to pull off, this is probably like 10 to 15 feet of string, and snoop. All right, so first thing we're going to do is just make this rectangle, and I'm going to do that by adding these beads onto the string. You've got 2 short sides and 2 long sides, so the short side is going to be 13 beads and then 1 corner bead, which I'm going to do a different color. The long side is going to be 23 beads and then a corner bead. So I'll show you what that looks like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and a corner bead. And then for the next side, it's 23 and a corner bead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and a corner bead. Okay, so that's 2 sides, and now we're repeating the short side, which is 13 and a corner bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and a corner bead. And the last side is a long side, which is 23 and a corner bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Ooh, that's hokey. 23, and a corner bead. Okay. How many is that? Oh no, math. So, you should have 76 beads on your string. And now we're going to tie it off. And literally, like it is a big old candy single. We are pushing it all to one end, so there's a short end and a very long end. And we're going to do 1, whoop, there we go, 1, and we're going to tie it like fairly tight, right? We don't want it to be loose at all. Just like a little bit of stretch left. So 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and then we're going to cut off the short end. Boop. And right now this knot is basically inside of a corner bead. We do not want it there. It's going to be very annoying if it's there. So I'm just going to pull the knot a little ways down and pull the string also a couple beads over. Like so. Now, we're going to keep using the corner bead colors, but we are done with this color. So I'm going to put it back here. I'm going to pull out our main color. All right, so your single should look something like this. And now we're basically going to do a modified version of multi-stitch. Vast majority of it is multi-stitch. The only thing that's different is the corners, which we have marked with differently colored beads. If you are not familiar with multi-stitch, here is my multi-stitch tutorial. A brief overview is we start with a single that has an even number of beads on it, and then we add a bead on, like we're coming out of this bead, we add a bead, skip over this bead right here, and go into the next bead, which is this one. And then we add a bead, skip over this one, go into the next one, which is here. So we basically have row 1 and row 2 on the string already. When you start adding beads for this next round, you want to make sure that you are not adding a bead on top of your corner beads. So for me, I am right-handed and I tend to work going, which way do I tend to work? I tend to work going to the right. So I'm going to flip it. And so we can see here's a corner bead and it's 1, 2, 3, and I'm coming out of bead number 4. You can absolutely just copy that. The main point that you want to make sure you're not doing is you do not want to be putting a bead on top of your corner beads on this first round. So whether you mimic this exactly and come out of the 4th bead over or a different bead, doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you're not putting beads on top of the corner beads on this round. You're going to add your needle back onto the string, and I like to do a double knot so that it does not come loose. And we are just going to do a full round of multi-stitch, just regular old multi-stitch. And I'm going to be using this color because this is our main color for the frame. Okay, so for multi-stitch, take a bead, go through the next one over. We're skipping this one and pull it all the way through. Just like that. Take a bead, skip over this one, go through the corner bead. Take a bead, skip over this one, go through the next. Okay, so you're literally just going to do this all the way around. I will film myself doing this and speed it up a bit so you can see what I am doing. But again, this is just multi-stitch. This round is just straight multi-stitch, nothing fancy. This sped up part is about 2.5 minutes long. Feel free to skip it if you already know what you're doing. Just go to 16 minutes and 16 seconds and that will get you to the next bit of making this project. But since I have like 2.5 minutes of silence to fill, since I watch things, I watch YouTube videos while I craft, and so there is sound in the background of this sped up bit, but you would just be listening to a Jacob Geller video on 3x speed, which is probably not what you want to be doing while you are trying to do like relaxing, fun crafting hour. So instead, here's me on 1x speed, just rambling, because I have like 2.5 minutes of dead air to fill, and I've been editing this video for many, many days now, and I am just slowly losing my grip on reality, I fear. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this project and why I'm doing it. I made a candy guillotine. a few months ago in kind of a fit of rage at the state of the world and the state of this country and the state of my city. I live in Minneapolis, for those of you who don't know, and this winter was really rough. Like I said earlier in this video, I'm not 100% sure like what I can and can't say on YouTube that will result in shadow banning and like algorithmic super hell. So I'm gonna use some coded language to talk about it, but suffice to say, I spent a lot of time doing extracurricular activities this winter to make sure that my friends and neighbors stayed relatively safe and unharmed. And doing that was really scary and hard. And so I have been making crafts about it. This guillotine, I feel, probably can be very easily interpreted. But we are now reaching the end of this sped up bit, so to be continued in the next sped up bit. All right, so we are back at the beginning here. We're going to add our last bead for this round. Boop. And we're going to skip over this bead and go into this bead, which is the first one that we came out of to start the round. And we're also going to go through this first bead that we added on this round. Just like that. You can see we are skipping. And we pull it all the way through, and I'm just going to hold the string there while I look at my instructions for the next round, so I tell you the correct thing to do. So we're coming out of this bead here. You can see we have a corner bead here, and we are going to add one bead of this color, same color, in between all of these beads, except when we are on the corner, we're going to add 2 beads of the corner bead color. So from here, we're going to go 1 bead and into the next bead over. Okay, and now on the corner, we're going to add 2 beads of the corner bead color and into the next bead. Just like that. And now we're going to do this side all with 1 bead in between until we get to the corner. Once again, I will film what I am doing and speed it up so you can kind of see. But we just do another round all the way around and come back to the beginning. If you want to skip this part, go to 1956, and for everyone else, hello and welcome back to the next part of my ramble about why this project in particular. So this project was born out of the deep frustration that I have with how the rich continue to get richer and the poor stay poor, and many, many people who are in positions of power and theoretically should be helping those around them are instead often choosing to line their own pockets and do things that make them more money, and also additionally cause a lot of suffering to the people they should be helping. So this is a protest. I don't know if it's a super effective protest in and of itself, but I think there's value in just expressing emotion and channeling that into art. And I think that there's also a lot of value in making crafts and like intentionally making the time to make things, even though it has gotten more and more difficult to do so as prices of everything rise and pay rates stay the same. If you're making this, you probably feel similarly, or you're just like a fan of French history. I don't know. Okay, and we are once again back at the end, adding our last bead here, and we're going to add one bead, go into the next bead over, and up through the first bead we added on this round. Go team. So now we are coming out currently right next to a corner. Doesn't matter if you are or aren't, if your string is in a different place, that's totally fine, but it is very convenient for me to show you what we do on this next round. So here we are going to add one bead of our normal color and go up through just that first bead of the two that we added on the corners. Like that. Oh, also, this is approximately what you should be looking like. It's maybe a little bit starting to turn into corners, but we're not there yet. Okay, so we have gone up through the first bead, and we are going to add two beads, 1, 2, of the corner color, and then we're going to go through the second bead on the corner. And when we pull this tight, it should look something like this. I had to wiggle my beads around to get it, but this is approximately what you should be looking like. Now we are coming out here, and we are going to add one normal color bead and go into the next bead that is sticking up there. Just like that. So this is what your corners are going to look like. And for the sides, you're just, whoop. For the sides, you're just going to, again, multi-stitch, add beads in the gaps, just like we did on the last round. And when you get to the corner, you're going to go through the first bead, add two, and then go through the second bead. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 24 minutes and 8 seconds. And for everyone else, welcome back to the bonus features of this video, which consist of me mostly rambling about why I made this project and any like additional notes that I think of that might be helpful, and also just like chatting, just saying hi. I figure you probably want something on in the background that's like soothing, so I'm not going to like yell or make any loud noises. Fun fact, I got a new microphone basically just before making this video, and I like it, but I think I am still figuring out how to use it effectively. So if there's any like weird sound stuff in this video at all, it is my new mic and me not 100% knowing how to use it yet. Thank you for your patience and for not making fun of me. I am sometimes a little bit technologically challenged, which is tough as a millennial because I grew up using computers and like being the troubleshooting person for the old people in my family, and now I am the old people in my family. How the turntables. Well, now I've made myself sad, so there's only about 30 seconds left in this sped up bit. I'm gonna go contemplate my own mortality for a minute. I will be back in a few minutes to catch you in the next sped up bit. Okay, and we are back at the beginning here, and I wanted to show you this because it is easy to get lost once you get to this point. So this is the last bead that we're adding on this round. We're going to go into this one here, and then up and out through this one here. It's a little tricky to keep track of your beads once you get into the corners. My apologies. Okay, just like that. So we're skipping over the one, we're going up through the two. And that puts us right here at a corner. So you'll notice there's this little, like, there's these little gaps here now, right? Where the corner beads are. So coming out of the bead right next to the corner, you're going to put one bead into the gap and up through just that first bead of the two that you added on the corner. Now you're going to add two beads and go through the second corner bead like that. And then you're going to add one more corner bead and go through the next sticky uppy bead. And that's how you do the corners on this round. So 1, 2, 1. And for the rest of it, you guessed it. Whoops. Hello. We're going to do multi-stitch. So coming out of a bead, add a bead, skip over the bottom one, go into the next sticky uppy one. Multi-stitch is nice because it's very easy to just put beads into gaps and not have to think about it. And I'll go over to the corner and I'll show you the corner again, just so that it like flows really easily. Okay, and now we are in the little gap again, so we're going to go 1 and up, 1, 2, and down, and 1, and through. Okay, I will continue working, and you can see now it is getting very rectangle-y. That's what these corners do. It makes it rectangle-y. I'm going to do the rest, speed it up, and I will meet you back at the beginning. And for those of you who want to skip the sped up part, go ahead and go to 29 minutes and 10 seconds to get to the next part that isn't sped up. I forgot what I was saying in the middle of my sentence. Hello, everyone who sticks it out for the sped up bits. I hope you're enjoying my rambles so far. They are entirely unscripted, as I'm sure you can tell. I am recording this on a very rainy, stormy, bleak day here in Minnesota, and I feel like that is maybe affecting the tone of these voiceovers. Also, like, I don't know, the subject matter is a little grim. So, you know, but like, hey, we're here, we're alive. We outlived Lindsey Graham, go team. Outlived Mitch McConnell, go team. There's only a couple more. We gotta stick it out and stick around and not let them beat us. Boy, howdy! I hope this part doesn't get me in trouble with YouTube. But like, I'll be real, as somebody who has lived with ideation of not being around since I was a child. Having goalposts and reasons to stick around is really cool and sexy and important. And so, like, I hope that helped somebody. All right, so this is approximately what we are looking like. And we are adding the last bead on this round. We'll go through that one. Oop, hello. And through that one. Right, as always, you go through 2 beads in order to step up to the next part. So now we're just going to add 1 bead in between every single bead. Just regular multi-stitch all the way around. So we're coming out of a corner color bead. So we'll do one corner color bead here, doop, and then one here in between the two you added on the last round, and one more right here. Okay, so this is what your corners should be looking like when you finish this round. And then for the rest, just the normal color beads. And I already can tell I'm not going to have enough string to do this whole project. I'm going to have to tie more on at some point, so that's fun and cool. Alright, single bead, just like that. And it's just regular multi-stitch. So, like before, I will film, sped up, so you can see what I'm doing, and I will meet you back here at the beginning of the round. If you want to skip this part, go to 32 minutes and 44 seconds, where it picks back up in normal speed. For everybody else, hello. Welcome back to the sped up bit, the behind the scenes, the brain dump rambles. That last one got a little bleak. I'm sorry about that. I know this is basically just a crafting channel here on YouTube, because for whatever reason I have just kept it all crafts here. But on my other channels, I am generally pretty outspoken as far as like human rights and mental health and disability and like being real gay and trans and like all that stuff goes. And I would love to do that here too. I'm just not totally sure how to like integrate it into this type of content. So like these are maybe, let's call them experiments. I've done a little bit of experiments like this before, but kind of experiments just to see if like this is what people want on this channel. And I guess if I get a bunch of hate comments, I will know not to do this again in the future. Or I'll release the boring cut that is just like dead air for many minutes while it's all sped up. The boring cut is what I released to patrons already, because recording all of this takes a bunch of time. And I figured people would like want the tutorial part as soon as possible, and patrons get to see stuff early, so like why not? But anyway, we're coming to the end of this part. I will catch you in the next one. Okay, so now we are adding the last bead on this round back here at the beginning, and this time we are going to add the bead. We are going to go into this next bead over, and then instead of going up, we're going to go down, because we need to basically repeat everything we just did on the other side. So normally I would say to do this on the inside so that it doesn't show, but I think I'm just going to flip it when I'm done. So we are here, and we are just going to run our string through the next bead over like that, and the next one like that. Come on. And then we're going to go down towards the darker brown stripe here. And 1 and 2. There we go. Okay. So now we have our string coming out of one of the sticking up beads on that first round that we did to start our cuff. This is approximately what you should be looking like. It might be, yours might be a little bit floppier. It might be trying to curve. That's all totally fine. You want it to look more or less like this. I'm going to take a quick break because I can feel the nerves in this hand getting angry at me. So I'm going to rest, and while I do that, here is a message from our sponsor. That's right, this video is sponsored by Basehead Beads. You know them, you love them. They have the biggest selection of custom beads on the internet, specifically made for candy kids by candy kids. I've known the owner of this business almost since it began. He's a great dude. I love working with him. I love working for him. And he has been kind enough to sponsor a bunch of my tutorials so that I can keep doing this work. If you want to check out their beads, including all the beads you see on the screen here and more, go ahead and head over to baseheadbeads.com and use promo code MoodKandi15 to save 15% on your order. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the tutorial. Welcome back. So we are going to do the other side of this rectangle, and then we're going to attach it so that it's like a little tube. And essentially, we are going to be repeating what we did on the top, but now on the bottom. So we are going to add one bead in between each of the little sticky uppy beads. And when we get to the corner, we are going to add two beads. And I am running out of string, so I'm going to have to tie on some more string here shortly, but we'll see how far we get. So, I'll do this in real-time speed, all the way up to the corner. We'll do the corner, and then the rest of it is going to be sped up. And, God, I wish that it would just stay focused. I don't love that the camera's going in and out of focus, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. maybe if I spin this over here, it'll be not so traumatic for my poor little camera. Okay. Doop. And 1, 2. And doop. Come on now. There we go. And we pull her tight. And there we go. And now we continue adding one bead in between each of the dark brown sticky uppy beads, like so. And I'm gonna do the rest in, I don't know how fast it'll be, probably like 5x or so. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 38 minutes and 25 seconds. Also, fun fact, 5x speed was like a little too fast to see what I was doing, so this is all in 3x speed, which does mean every time I rewatch it and make an edit early on in the video, I have to go and fix like, oh my god, like 50 different timestamps that I have in various places. So just know that editing this tutorial truly has been a labor of love, and by love I mean I love you guys. I do not love video editing. Unfortunately, I came up through like TikTok and Instagram, and so I do all of my editing in CapCut on my phone, which is fine for short form, but when you get into multi-hour videos, oh my god, doing this from my phone is certainly something, but I am way faster doing it on my phone than I am trying to relearn like Adobe Premiere Pro on my computer. These are the fascinating behind the scenes details you get when you watch the sped up part. Okay, and we are back at the beginning. I know it looks weird. The perspective is weird on this, and I'm sorry. It is hard to show. But we are adding our last bead on this round, and then we are going to go through this one, and we'll come out here. Do. Okay, that's through these two. Here we go. All right. And for our next round, you will never guess, we're going to do some more of the same. So we're going to add one bead in all of these little spaces, right? And then we're I'm gonna be real, I muted this section because I was giving you slightly wrong instructions about what color beads to do right next to the corner beads. You are just gonna do regular multi-stitch with your regular bead colors all the way up to the corner, and then you're gonna go through the first bead, add 2 corner beads, and go through the second bead. And this is all I got left on my string, so at some point during this next row here, I'm gonna have to add more string. Alright, so we are gonna do, like usual, go all the way to the corner, show you the corner, and then do the rest of it all sped up. Okay. Go. This is me in real time realizing that I messed up and told you the wrong color earlier in the muted part. Yeah, okay. So, regular. I was wrong. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that part. So, we are now at the corner, and we add our regular bead, because we are matchy-matchying, just like that. And now we're going to add 2 beads, 1, 2, of the corner color, and go through the second corner bead, just like that, and back to the regular color, and normal multi-stitch all the way around. Well, all the way to the next corner. I misspoke. Boop, ba-doop, boop, boop. I am trying to show you this in, like, from as many different angles as I can, while still, like, comfortably holding the project in a way that I can actually work on it. So, I hope that this makes sense. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest in sped up time, and I will meet you back here at the beginning. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 42 minutes and 44 seconds. For everybody else, what I was talking about earlier with matchy-matchying comes from the part that I muted and recorded over. Basically, you do the top half, and then you do the bottom half, and you look and see, like, what the corner looks like on the bottom, and you want it to basically match what it looks like on the top. You will see it, like, more as we go, obviously, but that is what I was referring to with the matchy-matchy comment. I realized afterwards that I would need to clarify that. Video editing is hard, especially in really long videos like this. I am appreciative that you all are kind and forgiving. Okay, we are almost at the next part, so I am going to go contemplate my mistakes. Okay, and we are back here at the beginning. We're adding our last bead, and we're going to go up 1, 2, and out this guy. 1, 2, just like that. I will also say, if it's easier for you, you can flip it and, like, work on it this way. I just, working in a clockwise direction is easier for me, so it is flipped. Anyway, next round, we are going to add 1 bead in between all the beads until we get here, and then we're going to do corner bead, 2 corner beads, corner bead, because we are matchy-matchying like that. And my string is very short, so it is time to add more string. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. How much string am I going to need? If you crochet or knit or do anything with fiber arts, you're familiar with the concept of yarn chicken. I have been playing string chicken for many years with varying results. We'll see if this is enough. I've added, probably like another 6 or 7 feet of string here. We'll see. Okay, and adding more string. There are a lot of ways to do this. You can tie off your string to the base, then tie your new string onto the base in a different spot. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with doing that. I am doing this the quick and dirty way, which is you take your two strings, you line them up like that, and you do a knot. Literally just a granny knot. Pull it super tight, and then I like to do another knot on top of it just to make sure that that bugger ain't going nowhere. And then we trim off the ends. This is going to be a little bit bulky. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but it is the quickest and easiest option for adding more string, which is why I'm doing it. Okay, and then we just tie our needle back on to the new long end of the string. Regular old double knot. And away we go. So we're going to add one bead in between these beads. Come on. There we go. Okay, and now, if I can get my string untwisted, please do not. Thank you. Okay, so now we are here, and we are going to add a bead of the corner color, 2 beads of the corner color, and 1 bead of the corner color, and then we will continue, and I will speed up the footage from there. Okay, just like that, and now we're going to continue doing multi-stitch, and in the corners, 2 beads. You get the idea. All right, here we go. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 50 minutes and 3 seconds. That's 50, not 15. I realize now, after recording a bunch of these, that they're maybe a little bit like heavy. I do want to reassure everyone, I'm mostly just bitching and moaning, and like, I am okay. I just don't know how to fill the dead air in a way that is like exciting and entertaining without just rambling about literally whatever is on my mind. And of course, because I'm in the middle of video editing, what is mostly on my mind is video editing. Surprise, surprise. So let's counterbalance the complaints with some good news. I got my nails done yesterday. You can't see them in this video because I went way too long and my last set all fell off. So, you know, that's fun. But my new nails are little critters. You can see them over on my Instagram. I have possums and raccoons and rats. I love critters very much, and probably should at some point make some more critters. Jeremy, my prized abomination, is still hanging over my candy desk, watching me literally record this right now. If you don't know about Jeremy the Candy Abomination, I have a tutorial for how to make him a little bit earlier on my channel. You can absolutely find it, and I encourage you very much to make your own candy critter abominations. That video did not get nearly enough love, probably because the algorithm was like, what on God's green earth are you doing? A very, very common question when I am experimenting with candy. But if you are a fan of critters and also a fan of abominations, you might enjoy that tutorial. I have also recently started doing more art trades and skill trades, which I love, and that gives me a lot of joy and a lot of life. If you don't know what an art trade is, it is exactly what it sounds like. I make a bunch of different kinds of art, and there's also a bunch of different kinds of art that I'm really bad at, and so I like finding artists who make stuff that I can't and trading my art for their art. All right, and we are back here. We're going to add the last bead, and we're going to go up 1, 2, 1, and 2. Pull that all the way through. Come on. Why would you do this to me? It's twisty. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is approximately what you should be looking like. You can see on the top row, it's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. And on the bottom row, it is 2 and 1. Here's the corners. I'm showing everything. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to sew it up to make this like a tube situation. I'll show you in a second. But this is approximately how thick it's going to be. And if you want it to be thicker, I encourage you to experiment with adding additional rows on both sides. However, I'm not going to do that in this video because I am just showing you how to make this exact model. You're going to take your two sides, you're going to put them together. You're coming out of a sticky uppy bead on the bottom, and you're going to go into the next sticky uppy bead on the other side, on the top. And this is kind of like a zipper method of sewing. So it's coming out, so now you pull tight, and it slots directly into that space. And so now you go into sticky uppy bead on the bottom, and the next sticky uppy bead on the top. Oop, come on now. Come on, Tad. All right. Okay. And here, I'll leave it loose so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and then I will tighten it up. Although normally I will just tighten as I go, because that is easier to keep it tight. Okay. So you are literally just ziggy-zaggy back and forth, sewing the sticky uppy beads together, and then when you pull, it closes it up into a little tube. Okay, so, ooh, okay. Come on. There we go. All right, so we go 1, 2, 3, and pull. Okay. You could probably do more than 3 beads at one time, but the cloth string tends to get a little stuck if you do. So we are now on the corner. We're going through that point that we added on the top half. Okay. And we turn, and we go into 1, 2, and 3. You can see I'm pinching this to keep the stuff I've already sewn together, keep the tension tight. There we go. And we have a corner. And we're just going to do this all the way around and sew the whole thing up. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 56 minutes and 57 seconds. That is where it picks back up in normal speed. Hello, and welcome back to the bonus features where I ramble while you watch me make things in 3x speed. In this specific case, I'm literally just like zipping up the sides of this creation. Also, like, if you want to learn how to make more shapes, I do have a tutorial on that. It's a little bit older, and there used to be a spreadsheet that I made that like lists all of the different mathematical calculations for how many beads to use per side for how many sides, and like it seems to have vanished. So like, note to self, I need to go back and find that and figure out where it went and put it back. By the time you're watching this, I may or may not have actually done that. Comment and remind me to do it if I haven't done it already. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. But yeah, this is the last part that you have to do on the like frame structure, and then we get to get into all of the little details, which again, like I know I said it earlier, I'm gonna just keep on saying it. I highly encourage you to experiment and like figure out different and possibly better methods of doing all of this. This was a prototype that I banged out in a somewhat blind rage and then had to reverse engineer and figure out like, okay, what did I actually do to make this? And so this is a little bit more of a raw and like less polished tutorial than I normally like to put out, but so many people asked for it, and also like I think it is very relevant and you know is a thing that I think would be cool to see more people making and ideating on and figuring out like better and cooler ways to make, that I kind of just went, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna make the bad version of the tutorial and then someday somebody will make a better one probably. That is how art tends to work, and especially this type of craft where so much of it is passed down from person to person. Obviously, with like the invention of YouTube and video tutorials, it is easy for one person to teach a lot of people all at once, which is what I do here. But like a lot of what I learn is, when it's not from tutorials from other people, is literally just directly from other candy kids. So like, I don't know, I love seeing how people make candy that is different than me. Okay, I'm just about done, and as you can see, I had to move my little dusky thing because it is too long and I can't show it on camera. But I'm just zipping up the last couple of beads here. 1, 2, and 3, and the last one, and 4. Doop. Come on now. Perfect. All right. So now we have a rectangle. Go team. The hard part is done. Now we just gotta add the details. So now at this point you can tie off, which if you want a video on how I tie off cuffs and stuff, here it is at the upper right hand corner. But because I have a bunch of string left, because I just added string, I am instead going to just use the string that I have already attached to make the little headrest part. I don't actually know what this part is called, but this part. If you do not have enough string, that's totally fine. You can tie off, and then you're going to just tie on. Where would I have you tie on? Let me get my string over to where it needs to be first, and then I will figure out where you would tie on. Okay, so we are just going to run our string through the beads going in the same direction that the string is already traveling, in order to hide it. And we want to get over to this corner here. Something that is worth noting that I actually just realized, because a lot of this I just was winging it. There is a front and a back to this situation. We're going to call this the front, and the front is where you can see both rows of your like center beginning single very clearly, and the back is where you really only see half of it. The reason for that is that the top half that you made is one row longer than the bottom half, and so when you tie them together, it is not exactly even. So, working with the front half facing you, you want to tie on, like if you're tying your string on, you probably want to tie in somewhere in here, and then run your string through a couple beads to hide the knot. Either way, when you get to the corner, you're going to run your string, and I'm doing this is the bottom left corner, that very center corner bead there on the inside, you're going to run your string through that, which is a big old pain. Apologies. Ugh, there we go. So now we are technically coming out of the top of that bead, and we are going to add some of our regular color beads. Or, you know what? Do I have enough of these? I think I have enough of these. Ooh. Playing string chicken and bead chicken in one video. Am I brave enough to do it? Yes. Pray for me. All right, so we are coming out of the top of this bead, and we're going to add one bead onto our string. And we are going to skip over this first dark brown bead and go into the next one over. We're basically going to treat this like a new round of multi-stitch. Sorry, this is a larger project than I normally do tutorials for, and I keep bumping the camera because my spatial awareness is bad. All right, now we're going to add another dark brown bead and go skip this one, go into the next one. Okay. We're doing this all the way across. This is what we're doing. You're just repeating. Add a bead, skip a bead. Okay. My knot came untied. Trials and tribulations. All right. Add a bead. And oh my god. Why is this happening to me? All right. There we go. So we there we go. Hell yeah. Okay. And last bead we are adding for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So total of 7 beads on this row. Okay, our last bead. and we're adding it, but oh no, what bead do we go into? Great question. We are going into the corner bead over here, just like the one that we came out of to start the round. Which is going to be a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult, but we got this. Come on. Oh yeah, we did it. Nope. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I pulled it too tight and I pulled it out of place, so I poked it back into place there. And I also am going to go through this first dark brown bead on the side. Okay, we are just simply going to go back through that bead that we just added without adding any other beads there, and this secures it to the side. There we go, just like that. Okay, now we're going to add one bead in all of the empty spots, which should be 6 beads total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and we go through this last bead, and we also are then going to go through this bead on the side, just like we did on the other side. Doop. Just like that. That puts us in position to add a bead into this space. So we're going to add 1 bead, 2, 2 beads, and then 3 beads. So 1, 2, 3 regular multi-stitch style, and then we are going to skip this one. So we're not going to add a bead in this center spot. We're just going to run through the bottom bead and out through the top bead, like how we do when we are stepping up a level. This is going to form the gap that the melon goes in. And then 1, 2, 3, filling in those spots. This is also, by the way, if you're doing like a multi-stitch project or a peyote stitch project and you want to leave a hole in it, this is a good technique to do that. So 1 and 2 and 3. So we add the last bead there, and then we're going to connect to the next bead up on the side. So we're going to go up the bottom, out the top, not through any other beads. There we go. Just like that. Ta-da. And then we're going to loop it back through the side of that bead that we just added, and that gets us in position to add more beads. It is going to want to come loose when you do this, so you're going to have to tighten here and then hold it and then pull. Okay, and now we are ready to add some more beads. So we are going to go 1 and 2, and then through all 5, and then 1 and 2. So 1, and 2. Okay. And we're going to run our string now through, so we ran it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Come on. And 5. Do 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 do. There you go. And now 1 and 2. And we are once again connecting it to the edge, so we're going to go through this next bead up on the side. And I'll be real, this part is messy. Like, I am messy at this part. There definitely, someone's going to see this and they're going to innovate on it and they're going to make a better one. And I do want that, because this part is not my specialty. I'm winging it. I'm trying to remember what I did on the first one, and I think I'm coming pretty close. Okay, so we are now going to go back the other direction, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Ooh, this one's tricky. Okay, I remember what I did here. So we go 1, and we skip this one. We go into the next. 2. Okay. And now we want to mirror the bottom, right? So we are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. I'm going to skip over that whole bottom section. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into this guy. This next sticky uppy guy. Like that. Okay. And you do want to keep it pulled relatively tight, otherwise you will end up with a floppy little head hole. I know this looks wrong. We're going to, as we add more, it'll pull it up. So, and 1 and 2. To finish off this row, so we go 1, and 2. Okay. Here's where we're at. Here's what we're looking like. And we're going to just go into this next guy up on the side. Perfect. And then loop back around through the bead you just added, which is going to be a bitch to pull tight, but there you go. All right. Now we're going to add 1 and 2 and go through 5. Let me see here. Yep. Okay. So we go 1, come on. Oh my God. Really? Really? You're going to do this to me now on camera in front of everyone? Okay. And 2. And we're going to run the string through all 5 of those beads. Okay. And then on the other side, 1 and 2. Hey, we're getting there. Okay. Here's where we're at. Here's what we're looking like. And we're going to run our string through the bead on the side. Gonna do this next one. Yeah. What's the easiest way to do this? Probably if I come at it from the other side. There we go. Doop. Hey. Okay. So we're anchored on the side, and now we're going to add 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2, and for our third one, this one's not really sticking up, so we're going to make it stick up. So we're going to add a bead, we're going to skip this bead, we're going to go into the next one, just like that. And we are going to also run our string through the next 2 beads, skipping over them, and 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2. And 3. And we're going to anchor it to the side. So that's the next bead up here, which again is easier to reach from the back side. So that's him. Oh, he's got a freaking knot in him. Oh my god. Of course. Just my luck. Come on. There we go. Ooh, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. Okay. We're almost done. We're going to go back through that bead that we just added. You absolute mother of pearl. There we go. Okay. And we go. 1 and 2 and 3, and just go through the middle bead there. This is what's going to pull it up. Come on. Okay, and 4 and 5. Come on. And 6. Oh my god, we did it, fam. Ugh. Okay. Little bit wonky, and I encourage you to experiment and figure out a better way to do this part, but that's the melon holder part is done, and now you just tie off. I have enough string that I probably could do a little bit more with it, but I don't want to, so I'm going to tie off, and then I'm going to cut my string. So I'm going to run this through here just to finish securing it, and we're going to go up 1 and 2, and I'm basically just running the string around to the back so that I can tie off and it will not be super duper obvious if the knot is showing. Okay, and if you look, you can see exposed string between the beads. I'm just going to use that to tie off. So scoot my string underneath, make a loop, go around the back of the loop, and pull it tight. And just do that like 3 times. 1, 2, doot. Come on. And 3. Boop. Do. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take our skizzies and cut off the long end. There you go. All right. So now we got to make the slicer, the chopper part. And for that, we're just going to do some basic odd peyote stitch. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads across to start. And let's see, we'll do a little dual color moment. What do I want to do? We'll do these two. I'm bringing out the bead board. For those of you who do not know, this is a candy planner made by my friend Mama Cat's Crafts, who is an absolute lovely human being, and I highly recommend if you want to get a bead board, go support her. Not sponsored, just friends doing friend stuff. So I'm going to lay out the pattern for the slicer, and then I'm going to make the slicer using peyote stitch. If you don't know how to do peyote stitch, here is a tutorial. Let's do it. I want the top to be a different color, and then the bottom is going to be silver, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's see how fast I can do this. I'm very slow at this. There. So that's going to be our slicer. Okay, and now I'm going to take my string, which I am once again playing string chicken. This is probably not enough string, but I hope spring's eternal, you know? Maybe it is enough string. What if I just really believe? What if I just want it to be enough string? Okay, so we're going to start from the top row, and this is even peyote, my least favorite. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. So we're going to take these two and string them on. 1, 2, just like that. And now we're going to put the ends together and put a bead on both. And actually, I do kind of need to see, okay, because we want to keep the darker, like, glitter beads all on the same string. So top string is for the glitter beads, bottom string is for the silver beads. So we do a glitter, and we do a silver. And then put them both together, and we do a glitter bead on both, and then cool, we are still Gucci Malucci my Ducci. Alright, the orange into yellow is for the glitter beads, and green into yellow is for the silver beads. There's probably a faster way to do this, but I so rarely do peyote stitch these days. I do not know what it is. 2. Oh, come on. And 1. Now, normally with peyote stitch, you kind of start in the middle and you build it out in both directions, but in this case, like, this is the top. We're not going to build it out anymore. So I'm actually going to, now that they're all on the string, gonna sort of scooch them all down to, let's say, like, right here-ish. I'm going to put a clip here so I don't fall off the end. So I'm leaving a little bit of string here to tie off with, but I'm gonna scooch them all down. Go on. And make sure that there are no twists in the string or anything, right? And then I'm going to take just the bottom string. So top string is still in the clamp, bottom string is not, and just pull that all the way through. So now I have a really, really long string to work with. That is my bottom string. Which is the one that has the silver beads on it. And my top string, just like that. And just futzing with it to make sure that the beads are like sitting where they are supposed to be sitting. Okay, and now with the bottom string, I'm gonna tie a candy needle onto it because it's easier to work with when there's a needle. Doop. Okay. There we go. And so this edge where it has the two beads that you started with, this is the straight edge. This edge with the one bead is the edge that's going to be a diagonal. So we're going to start here and we're going to pick up a bead and we're going to go into boop, the next bead down, just like that. And now we're just filling in the spaces. So I'm gonna go just like this. There, so you can see it a little easier what we're doing. Okay, and now we're going to loop back around and we're going to add, we're coming from here. Just like that. Okay. And I feel like this part is mostly going to be just me like heavily breathing into the mic, and I do apologize for this. But I don't think there's anything I can really speed up here. Okay, so we're back here at the slanty edge. And instead of adding another bead here, we are just actually going to go back through the bead we just added. Start making that the slanty part. And now we pick up our next bead. So that's how you do like diagonal edges, is literally just by skipping it. I guess I will say for this part, if you don't like how the string looks when it is exposed like that on the edge, you absolutely can use like, probably clear stretch cord would be fine for this part, or fishing line. Or if you have like red string, that could be cool. That could be a neat touch. I don't think I have any red string on hand, and also I'm already like partway through this, so I'm not going to back up and undo it, but it's a cool idea. Okay. And we are back here at the diagonal again, so we're gonna just go straight back through the bead we just added, and boop. Okay. Almost done. Ooh, come on. So close. All right. And back through the bead we just added. And the last one, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go all the way back up through all of these beads on the edge, on the diagonal. Just run my string all the way through all of them. And we can tie off right here because we've got the original other side of the string, just like that. This is obviously, I'm doing this sloppy style. If you want to hide the knot, you can be a little bit more clever with like how you run your string up through the blade, as it were. But yeah, now we have a little blade. And I'm going to tie one more knot for a little triple knot, just to be safe. Okay. Now I'm going to cut off the short end. And I'm going to run my string up through here. So now it is coming out of the top of the blade. I think I have just enough string to attach it. So we're going to take the top of our guillotine, make sure that the front is facing the front, or not. It doesn't super matter. Probably there's a historically accurate direction for this to face, but I don't really know what it is, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We know that this is the center bead. Directly above it, this is the center bead. You also can count, you know, very easy to see. That's the center bead. We want it to be more or less aligned. And so we're going to go, and this has 8 beads across, so there isn't like a center bead. So it's not going to be perfectly aligned, but you know, we do our best. Okay, and we're just going to go through here. So I'm going to run it through like 3 or 4 beads, I want to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Pull it so that it's approximately where you want it to be hanging. Probably want it a little higher than that. There we go. And then gonna go through here and here. Pull it until the strings are approximately the same length as each other. Obviously, you can wang jangle this around a whole bunch until it is to your liking, right? Till you're satisfied with it. And then we simply tie off. Again, this particular type of candy making is not my specialty. This is sort of messy. If I had time to prototype some more, I would probably do it a different way. But again, I encourage you to experiment. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3. And we cut this off. And we fiddle around with it a little bit until it hangs how we want it. And now we just need to make the platform. So this platform, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can do just a peyote stitch rectangle. It's 19 beads across and 4 beads high. Both columns are 4 beads high. And then you just attach it to the bottom there. And then you also want like a little kickstand for stability. I will show you how to do this. I'm just telling you for the people who already are like peyote stitch masters. I've now given you all the information you need, and in fact, you probably can build something even better because this is very like, you know, it kind of works, but it does want to fall over, especially if it's on kind of like bumpy, rough ground. Yeah, you gotta really mess with it to make it stay. So, in any case, so you can make it separately and then attach it. This one I built directly just onto the bottom of the platform. So I think that is what I am once again going to do. So we're going to take some string. I'm going to do about a wingspan and a little bit. I'm really, really bad at judging how much string to use for peyote stitch projects because I don't hardly do them. So like roughly like 5 or 6 feet of string, question mark. And hopefully that's enough. This is the front. This is the back. We are working on the front here. And if you look at where it attaches on the completed one, you will see it actually starts with the very second bead out from the corner. So that's where we're going to attach it. We're going to tie our needle on. We're going to add a clip to the end, leaving a couple inches of string there. This is going to act as an anchor, and then at the very end, we'll have to tie it off. Alternatively, you can just pick a spot to tie it onto and then run your string through, but you want to go into this bead here. So this is the corner bead, okay? This is the front. This is the bead you want to be starting from. And we are just getting into position to make the thing. All right, now we are going to be doing multi-stitch, basically, or peyote stitch, or brick stitch, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to take a bead, add it to the string. We're going to skip over this little, like, empty space here, and we're going to go into the next bead over. Ooh. And of course, it's very stiff and tight and hard to maneuver, which is why having a needle for this is very helpful. Okay. And we're going to repeat that all the way across the bottom. Do. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Pro tip, if you bend it, it's easier. You can see how my needle wants to go through more than just one bead. We are not going to let it. That is not what we're doing here. You also can tighten from both ends. Come on. Do. Okay, and the last one goes here. All right, so this is the last one that we're adding. There we go. Okay, this is approximately what you're going to be looking like. Yes, I know they're a little janky. It'll get better. Now, we're going to add a bead. And we're going to go back through the bead we just added. And if you remember from earlier, you're going to want to hold your string like that when you do this so that it doesn't get all funky. Yeah, okay. And then once you pull it tight, it's anchored. And things will start looking a little less janky once we finish this row. We are once again just putting one bead in between each of the beads you just added. Okay, and we are adding one more. Our last bead for this row. Ugh. Come on. There. Now, you will notice this bead doesn't have anything to anchor it to. Oh no, what do we do? Couple of things. One is I'm going to secure this by putting it through the other end of this bead and crisscross applesauce. Frickin' voila. If I was smart, I would have left this end long too, so I could use each string to work back and forth, like you normally do on like candy masks and such. Unfortunately, it has been a long time since I've done peyote stitch projects, and I forgot that that was a thing you could do. It's a good thing, good idea, good thing you could do. Not a thing that I did in this particular case though. So, oops, my bad. Where'd the little thingy go? There you are. Okay, you're gonna hold right there for now. And we're gonna do a different trick. So we have our string coming out of this end. We are gonna go through this bead on the base, the first one that we initially started by coming out of, and pull that all the way through. We're going to pull it tight. Okay. Then we're going to go through this bead on the base, which is the next one directly up. Okay. Now we're going to go straight down and through this bead here, which was the first bead that we added in like starting this little part of the project. Okay. Move this up so you can see a little bit better. Okay, and then we're going to go back up through this bead on the base. Okay. And that puts us in a position to go through here. Hooray. So now we are coming out in the correct position to start adding some more beads. At this point, it should be 19 beads across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Go team. We did it. And we're going to add another bead. And I'm going to decide how I want to secure this end. And I think the way that I want to do it is by carrying it with my main string for a couple of beads. Come on. It's just so it's like away from the side, you know? And then I'm going to just tie them together. Why not? I don't want to be dealing with the short string. So 1 and 2. This isn't any kind of special knot. This is just granny knots. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to snip. Come on. The excess. And theoretically, if I did this right, the knot will just hide inside of a bead and I won't have to think about it. Yeah, seems like I did it right. Go team. So now you just go back and forth. Basically that same way until your platform is the size that you want it to be. The one that I did on my other one was like four beads long on each. You know, it's wiggly, right? You got the up beads and the down beads. So it's 4 and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how big I did it. This one I will probably do the same because I don't know if I have enough string to do more. But I guess we'll find out. Okay, and we got to the end, and this end you can just add another bead and go straight back through the bead you just added. Boop. And I'm going to flip it around because I like working from left to right. Also, I think I made a tactical error in attaching the slicer before doing the base. It's annoying, so maybe do the base before you do the slicer. I was just very excited to do that part, so I did, and I didn't think it through, and such is life. Okay. Okay, and now we are at the other end again, which means we're going to have to do the weird little thing one more time. So I'm going to show you this again, and hopefully it's a little easier to follow because I won't have an extra string to deal with. So when you get to the end of your little peyote situation and there is no bead left to anchor it to and go back up around and whatever, you're going to add your bead. You're going to go down through this bottom bead here, or the end bead rather, okay? And then you're also going to go through the one next to it on the diagonal. So diagonal down, okay? Then you're going to go up into the bead right above that. Come on. Okay. Is that correct? Am I crazy? What am I doing? What are we doing here? What's going on? No, I was wrong. Sorry, you don't go to the bead right down below. You go to the bead above. Haha. What are directions? Okay, so apologies. This was the end bead. You went down through these two, and now you're going to go up to the bead just above it. Okay. And back through that first end bead. And now you are in the perfect position to just go up the side and out. And you're in position to do the next row. I'm going to speed through this row and get to the end, show you how to do the end, speed through that row, get to the end, show you how to do the end, because the end bits are always the hardest. Although this end is lovely and it's a joy, and this end is the horrible stepchild. So anyway, time for speed up. If you want to skip this sped up part, go to 1 hour, 50 minutes and 43 seconds. It's only like 23 seconds long, so it's also fine if you just stay and watch me finish this off in 3x speed. We're basically to the end here already, so thanks for hanging out with me for 23 seconds. Okay, so we have reached the end with the sticky epi bead on the end. We literally just add the bead, go through the sticky epi bead, and we are already in position to start the next row. Add a bead, hold on to the string so that it doesn't go all squiffy, and pull it through and pull it tight. And there you go. That's all you got to do on that fun side. Now I'm going to speed across and we'll do the less fun side again. This sped up part is only like 19 seconds long, so you don't get a time code to skip to. Thank you for sticking it out and stretching that attention span. We're almost there. We're almost there. I swear we're almost there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have reached the end, and this is the end that doesn't have the sticky epi bead on the end. Boo! So, I'm going to try and do this part real up close. We're going to add a bead. Okay, we're going to go through this end bead. And we're also going to go through the one directly on the diagonal. Oh, come on. We're going to pull that tight. And I have to move it away from the camera to do so. I apologize. There we go. Okay. So here's where we're at. And now we're going to go through this bead that is directly on top of the bead that our string is coming out of. And we're going to go back through this end bead that we're using to anchor. And now we're in position to just go straight up and out. And now we continue working our merry way across. I learned how to do this from a candy toy box tutorial many years ago. She's phenomenal. Go give her a follow. If I can find the tutorial, I will link it here. But if I can't, go check out her page anyway. She's got a ton of very good tutorials, and she does a lot of peyote stitch stuff, which I mostly don't. And I'm just going to do the last two rows at 3x speed. If you want to skip this part, go to 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 40 seconds. This is the last sped up part of the video. Bittersweet, which also means, oh my god, I'm almost done editing, and I might actually be able to post this today. It is July 31st as I am recording this, so might actually get it out publicly in time for it to technically be the July tutorial. Go team. The ADHD procrastination demons have been chasing me. Thanks for being here, and let's finish this off. Alright, and now we have reached the end here, and we're going to go just like before, down and down. Pull tight. But this time we are done. This is as far out as I want to make it go, and I still have to do the little kickstand in the back. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that by just continuing to run my string diagonally down until I reach the base of the cuff. And when I get there, I'm actually going to flip it over. So here, this is the last one, and I'm actually poking it out the back. Here we go. So I can flip it over just like that. And I do want to be coming out of like the actual base here. The little kickstand that I made on this one is not super big. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. So this is the center bead. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 to start, which means I want to come out of this bead right here, which means I want to be coming out of this bead going this direction. So in order to do that, I'm going to actually back up a bead and just go straight up like this. Apologies if this part is confusing. It is all the same color, and I'm doing my best, but truly this is part of why it has taken me so long to make this tutorial, is because this part is just vibes. We're just winging it. Okay, so we've got the center bead is here, and we've got 1, 2, 3 across. We're coming out of this bead, and we're going to add a bead, go into the next one. Okay. Add a bead, go into the next one. Boop. Add a bead, go into the next one. But now we're gonna go back up. And we're gonna just add a bead onto the string. Here. So we've added 1, 2, 3, add a bead onto the string. Keep pinching this so that it doesn't like go all weird, and pull tight. That anchors it there. Then we've got 1 and 2 and 3. So 4 beads total. 1 and 2. Oh, come on. Okay, and 3. And we're going to go down into the base to anchor it, just like that. Hello. Great. And we're going to use the same technique that we did on the other side. So we go up on the diagonal, and then we go into the bead directly below it, and we go back up to the bead that we started anchoring it with, and then we come out the side and we add 1 and 2 and 3. And we pull it tight and we smush it down. I am using quite a bit of force here because I'm making beads go into place. And there you go. We just have to tie off, but it's done. Oh my god, we did it. Okay, tying off, you know, whatever. It's on the back. This is on the back of the cuff. Do whatever you want. I'm just gonna use that as my anchor. 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. And we're going to cut the excess off. And we did it. That's you made a candy guillotine. French melon slicer. I didn't say guillotine. Um, holy moly. Holy bajoli. Oh my god, family photo. They're in love. Woo, come on. Now Kith. If you make one of these, I want to see it. If you improve on this design, I want to see it. I don't know, man. It's a weird time to be alive, I gotta tell you that much. I don't know. I haven't really pushed the envelope on YouTube of like what I can and can't say without getting in trouble on here as much as I've gotten in trouble on my other platforms. But I haven't really gotten in trouble on this one. So I guess we'll see how this one goes. Go forth, make candy guillotines, make a life-size candy guillotine. Like truly, this is the simplest version of this, and there is so much innovation in this space that can be done. I still think that there is a way to do this that has like moving parts where the chopper can go up and down, and this part can be like two pieces and can slide on tracks, and like I have ideas of how I would do this. However, this took me like a full day. This tutorial took like a full day, basically doing nothing but making the tutorial to make it, and my body hurts. So I leave the innovation up to you all. Make me proud. Also, if there are any drag queens who watch this, I would absolutely, I would be gagged, gooped, and all of the other G words to see this incorporated into like a drag wig of some kind. That would just be absolutely stellar. Okay, let's do the end credits. Ugh. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this tutorial was helpful, and an extra huge, special, amazing thank you to my patrons who, I know I thanked at the beginning of this video, but 100K, holy shit. This is crazy, and we're here together. We're all here together. So if you want to become a patron, it's $3 a month or $5 a month if you're feeling fancy. You get to see stuff early, you get behind the scenes stuff, and I get the premium fish food for Hubert here, who is a diva. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Plur.